Hello everyone, I am Vipul and in this video I am going to show you that how you can break item level permission using Power Automate. So let's see this in action and I will explain you step by step about my scenario and how you can break item level permission using Power Automate. So in my scenario, what I have is a SharePoint document library with the name certification. Now in this document library, I have certain columns, for example, name, certification number, and I have already enabled the document set for this particular library in the site collection. The most important field in my scenario is this field, which is CNR valid. And the scenario is that when an item will be created in this SharePoint document library, I'm going to break the permission, this item level permission. And initially I am only going to give the permission to the owners group. However, if the CNR valid is equal to yes, it's a choice column at the backend. If it is marked as yes, then this particular item will also be visible to the visitor group member. However, if it is marked as no, then it will not be visible to the visitor group. And at the back end, if I show you, I have three groups basically: retail member, retail owner, and retail visitors. So if the CNR valid in my case is yes, only the owners, retail owner group members will be able to see this item, and the visitor group will not be able to see this item. So let's see this in action now. And for this, what I have also done is I have created just a page. This is a test page which I have created, and on the button of on the click of this button, I am going to create the document set. How I am doing this, that's a part of a different video. I'm going to create one more video to showcase that how I am creating a document set dynamically using this button. I'm not using any Power Automate to create the document set. I have used some SPFX web part to create the new document set, but that's a part of a different video. In this video, when I click on this button, a new document set will be created in the library, and accordingly the flow will trigger, the Power Automate flow. Now I'm going to explain you on a high level, first of all, the Power Automate flow, what I have implemented. So this is the Power Automate flow with the name break item level permission. This is triggering or executing when a file is getting created or modified. So simply I am just passing the site address and the library name, which is certification. Once this is done, I am sending an HTTP request to break the inheritance, and that's the most important first step. So you have to pass the method as post, and the URI is API list get by title certification. I'm passing the ID of that particular item which is getting created, and the REST API URL is break role inheritance. Copy role assignments equal to false and clear subscopes equal to true. So once you implement this, send an HTTP request to SharePoint, the permission will be broken on that particular item, and we are trying to break the item level permission using this Power Automate flow. Here I am creating some variables which is defining the role definition ID and the role ID. So I am defining for the full control. So there is a particular ID, well-defined ID in SharePoint for full control, for edit, and so on. So in this PPT, I can show you this, that for full control definition name, role definition, there is a particular role definition ID which is by default present in SharePoint for the SharePoint different permissions. So you have full control, you have design, edit permission type, contribute permission type, read, limited access, or view only. And accordingly, the definition ID you can use in your execution. So what I have done here is that I'm just defining a role definition ID for the full control and for the edit, and similarly for the read access as well, that is for the visitor group. Once these variables are defined, so I'm just passing, if you see here for full control 107.374.1829. So this is a role definition ID which is well defined in advance in SharePoint out of the box. Now what I'm doing is, once the permission is broken, I am assigning the permission for the full control group, which is the owner group. So I'm just getting the full control ID, which is the name of my group, in this case retail owners. But in real time scenario, if you don't even pass this hard coded value, you can get the group name, SharePoint group name, and then you can pass it. Currently what I'm doing is I'm just getting the full control ID of the retail owner and then assigning the permission to this particular group. For assigning the permission, again, I'm using a REST endpoint of SharePoint. So it says role assignment, add role assignment. Now, principal ID and role definition ID, these are the well-defined properties where you have to pass your group name and the role ID which you want to pass. In this case, for the full control owner group, which is retail owners, I am passing the full control ID which I have taken in a variable. Similarly, I'm getting the retail visitor group as well, which is just I'm getting the group name. Now here at the end, I have added a condition. So as I said, I have added just a condition if CNR valid is equal to yes, then assign the permission to visitor group as well. If it is not valid, then don't do anything. In that case, the visitor groups members will not be able to access that particular item. So that is the flow which I have executed or which I have implemented basically to break the item level permission using Power Automate. Now let's see this in action. So first of all, I'm going on the test page. I'm going to create a new item or a new document set using this button. So what it will do, it will go ahead, since it's a SPFX implementation, as I said, which is not part of this video. I'm going to create a separate video for that. So that is how you see this CNR or a particular item has been created. I've just added one nomenclature, the year, the month, and the date, and the current date time. So all these fields we can pass, for example, what is the application, what is the certification engine, parent, and so on. But as I said, the most important field is CNR valid. So I'm just passing it no for the time being, and I'm just going to click on save. Now what will happen, since I have created a item, it will open the certification library. Since it is not showing because this is the view which has been changed, I'll go to the all documents view. In the all documents view, we will see our item which we have just now created. So this is the item which has been created, as you see on my screen. So that this is the item which has been created. Now what will happen? The flow will trigger at the backend. This is on one particular item. The flow is getting executed. The flow will trigger at the backend. First, it will break the permission. As I said, first it will break the permission. And once the permission is broken, and then it will assign the permission to the owner group. But it will not assign the permission to the visitor group. Meanwhile, it is executing, the flow is getting executed at the backend. Let me show you that in the owner group, I am currently added, which is Vipul Jain as a user is added in the owner group. And in the visitor group, I have just added a user for the testing purpose, which is Megan in this case. So I've just added Megan in the visitor group. So we will see that with the Megan login, whether she is able to see that item which we have recently created or not. So let's see what is happening in the flow. I'm just going to refresh the Power Automate screen and we will see if the flow has been executed. Now, once the flow has been executed, the permissions will be assigned to that particular item. Now flow is running at the backend and we can see the run history, whether it has been executed or not. You see it has been executed just now 53 seconds ago. It's showing that it has been executed. So we can see now that on this particular item, what are the permissions. So I will go to this three dots. I will click on manage access just to check the permission, whether it has been broken correctly or not. And I will just go to the advanced setting just to showcase you that to whom the permission has been assigned as of now. So as correctly mentioned, and that was a target in this video, that only the retail owners currently have the permission. And the reason being because CNR valid is currently marked as no. Now this particular item which is created, for example, 1053, let's check it out with Megan's account as well, whether she is able to see it or not. Ideally, she should not be able to see this item because visitors are not yet allowed to see this item. So I've just logged in with the Megan's account as well. You can see this is Megan's particular account with which I have logged in. So let's refresh this screen of this particular library and you see still she is able to see only 3 items. However, if I show you our original library, there are 4 items and the one which we created recently, which is not visible to Megan. The reason being the CNR valid is no. So let's go ahead and edit this particular item which we just now created. While we are editing it, we will mark the CNR valid this time yes, so that the visitor group member, which is Megan in our case, she can also see this item. So I'm just marking as CNR valid as yes and saving this particular item in my SharePoint document library. And now you see this particular item which we created just now, now the CNR has been marked as valid. Now what will happen? Again, the flow will trigger at the backend and it will check that if CNR valid is marked at yes or no. Now it is marked at yes, and it will assign the permission to visitor group members as well, along with the full control group members, which was assigned previously. Now we'll see the revision history or the flow history as well one more time. Why? Because the flow will execute again and it will assign the permission to the visitor group as well. And we will see with the Megan's login now whether she is able to see this item or not. Now you see 3 seconds ago it has been executed again successfully. Our flow has been executed successfully, which is break item level permission. And now we will check with Megan's account. I'll just refresh this library. And now you can see this particular item, which is 1053, is visible to Megan, who is visitor as well. So that's all in this video. In this video, I have shown you that how you can break the item level permission using Power Automate. Thanks for watching this video.